I am talking to Richard Lafferty from Aquaholics Dive Centre, which is run up on the north coast of Antrim.
I started diving in the early 1980s up on the north coast, up in Port Stewart, in a local club. I just saw guys going to the swimming pool, saw guys going to the harbour. I'll have a go at that and annoyed them until they let me start. Aquaholics started about 25 to 30 years ago. I get fed up working in an office. I decided I've always diving and enjoyed the diving. I decided to try and turn it into a career. So I started teaching scuba diving and out of a trailer in a car and traveling all around Ireland, teaching people in various places. So it was great. Worked in Kerry, Donegal, and obviously here in the North Coast quite a bit as well.
From all that diving that you've done in Northern Ireland, have you got a favourite dive site?
Yes and no. The beauty about diving here, as you know, Sally, is our dive site. You can dive a dive site one day and dive the next day. It's completely different. So our environment's always changing, the time of day, the different tide, and the sea conditions. But certainly, where I would find you can never get it back is the north side of Rathlin. Our rock pinnacle goes from about 4 meters under the water down to 90 meters. You don't go down that deep, obviously, but the marine life on it is intense. The soft corals on it, the dramatic geology of the site, the above water scenery is just fantastic, world class.
Yeah, and presumably you do get divers from all around the world coming to dive off Rathlin.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. We do get a lot of divers from all around the world, and a lot of regular groups that come sometimes every year. And a lot of these divers do dive extensively throughout the world, and they spend the time and the money and the effort to get to Northern Ireland and to come to dive Skerries off Portrush, the Rathlin Island.
In all the years that Aquaholics has been up and running, you must have seen a change in the kind of types of gear and stuff that these guys are using, guys and girls, I should say.
Diving gear's evolved for the better, but it hasn't changed that much. Probably diving gear's got cheaper and better quality. But we do get people using rebreathers, and we get people going deeper and stuff. But the majority of divers diving here, Sally, are all diving less than 30 meters of water, all in single tanks, and a normal regulator system, a wetsuit or a dry suit. And you don't need to have all this gear hanging off you and doing deep diving. But our marine life starts at a meter under the water. Some of our best dive sites are 4 or 5 meters of water. So it's for all levels of diving. So we've got sites like the Blue Pool in Portrush. It's the best area in the Blue Pool is in 3 or 4 meters of water just where you start the dive. You'll see a wide range of marine life, shallow, easy depth. So
Yeah.
Certainly dive gear has evolved. It's made it easier, and we do get certain boys and girls changing the colours of their equipment and doing different things like that, but yeah, gear has got better.
Yeah, it's funny because often, when you tell people that you're into diving and they assume that you dive, in the tropics, and when you tell them that you dive here, they say, "Oh, you're brave," but actually, as you say, there's some amazing shallow water diving here and amazing wildlife to see, and you do get some sites with fantastic visibility. And actually, one thing, from my perspective, that's changed over the years, and I haven't been at it for very long, is the kind of imagery and videos that we're getting from divers is just unbelievable. And you know, that's in part has helped us build this website and helping us to promote how great diving is around here.
That's a very, very good point. You mentioned the cameras. When I started diving, we didn't have cameras, or if you did have a camera, it was extremely expensive and extremely hard to take that photography and then to get it processed and all. So that has evolved. That's probably the biggest change in diving now for a lot of divers. And in the start, some divers were, yes, wrecking and going to wrecks and more interested in the wrecks. But now we're more interested in the wrecks for their history, but also for the marine life on those wrecks, because those wrecks are becoming a habitat or a home in a strong tide or in a current. That becomes a tracks the marine life to it. It's a hiding place for marine life. So divers are now bringing, most divers now are 50% divers now are carrying some type of camera.
Yeah.
And that's great for this new website that we're able to record and identify marine life. Some of the best ones stand out. Diving again, an area below the lighthouse on Rathlin Island at the north side, world-class dive site, just blows your mind. At the end of their dive, we were coming up, so we thought the water darkening, we thought it was just clouds above us, light level starting to go. It was actually a large basking shark. So when we were doing our safety stop, small stop before we hit the surface, we were swimming for about 5 minutes with a large basking shark. So that. Things like the first night dive on, we have a really good wreck called the Loch Garry at Rathlin. As you dive it yourself, the marine life on it's intense. But at night, even more marine life appears out of nowhere. A lot of the animals have come out of the holes and out of the wreck, and everything's out feeding. The intensity of the feeding seems to be higher at night. So and the colours are intense. So the first night in the Loch Garry as well, something I'll never forget. It's not just the dive when you're going out in a boat, or is the actual dive, but quite a lot of time when we're traveling to dive sites and boats, we're seeing dolphins, porpoises, with a lot of minke whales over the last 2 or 3 years. And then we had a couple of, we suspect, large fin whales at Rathlin last year and the year before. So Those sites are fantastic because you could travel throughout the world to try and see sites like that. But here we have them on our doorstep. Diving here, I would certainly class as world class. We have an extensive range of marine life, different types of dive sites, from shallow reefs to deeper reefs to pinnacles to gullies, caves, wrecks. And the beauty is as well, and that's your website, we've only explored a small part of our coast and a small part of the seabed. So even last year, we were starting to find new dive sites, and that turned out to be fantastic. So it's all about exploration and finding something new and going somewhere back to the basics. Where a lot of people start diving, going somewhere nobody else has been before, and we can do that here. We're not following a trail with thousands of other divers have been. We're exploring sites on the north side of Rathlin, even in Skep. We're finding new creatures, new geology features. So it's all about getting out there and exploring it.